I'm really excited to welcome Linda Alberga. Linda is a holistic health practitioner and energy medicine woman, and you facilitate journeys to self-discovery and exploration. I know you work very intuitively, and it's about inner awakening, self-discovery. Can you tell
Yes.
us more, or actually just tell us a little bit about yourself first and how
Yeah,
you came to do what you do?
absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here to share information with others that will be tuning in. So, to those that are going to be here, welcome. So how did I get to be here? Well, that's always a wide open-ended sort of answer because we could go as far back as a little girl, or I could kind of create a synopsis here. So I would say what's most relevant at this point in time is that I've been in the coaching industry as a personal trainer for the past 7 to 8 years. And I was working with a lot of clients, probably up to 30 hours per week at a specific time, doing a lot of group classes as well. So coming across different humans and group settings that were really focused on getting movement in. And there would often be times where clients, as you found relationships and create that more personalized connection, I would often find that humans would sort of share this information about, feeling stressed or unhappy in relationships or confused about what to eat, and, all the things that kind of create this idea of what can complement my movement while I'm here, because, stress levels can impact, obviously, how you move your body, if you're feeling certain ailments in the body, so on and so forth. And so through personal development myself and getting curious around teachers and mentors that eventually became my teachers and mentors, I stumbled upon some work that would really expand on the understanding of holistic health and well-being. And so I decided to embark on a journey where I've been actually studying for the past couple of years in holistic health at a beautiful institute called the Czech Institute. This is located in San Diego. It's an online program all year round. And then we have a couple of live trainings in person. In fact, I'm leaving in just a couple of weeks to do my live training for my second year. The second one of this year as well. And, it's very in depth when you start to look at the body from a holistic lens. It's beautiful in its complexity, and it's also very helpful to understand how all our systems are well interconnected. And so, as someone who is devoted to her own path and understanding myself on a soul level, and what it is that I'm here to do in this world, oftentimes we hear this idea of what is your purpose, find your passion. And so, in hindsight, I've noticed that a lot of my journey has been sort of clues and stepping stones into what it is that I do today. And then I became really more active in understanding, what speaks to my heart and how can I further support myself in that as a result, and then also share this information with clients. So I now have my own holistic practice where I take clients one-on-one to do journeys of self-discovery, self-exploration. However, I also utilize the information that I've acquired from the Czech Institute. So it's a lot of understanding around our physiology, because we cannot separate our physical body from our mental and our emotional body. Of course, everything is well intertwined. And so it's really supportive to, connect with clients and understanding what their goals are, what their dreams are, and then be able to also create some homeostasis, which essentially just means balance in the body. So that can support them in taking steps to align with their dreams, with their desires, so on and so forth. And so I would say, in a nutshell, that is how I got to where I am today, as now a holistic health practitioner and coach and mentor, which is incredibly fulfilling because, I am a true believer in, if we don't have our health, really, what do we have in
Yeah.
life,
So
right?
you look at the whole picture, you're looking at the person's body. It sounds like on a cellular level, basically, if you look at
Mhm.
homeostasis.
Yes.
mind, soul, body connection,
Correct.
true holistic vibe. So you're giving them coaching, mindset stuff, and looking at their physiology. Yeah, it's so
Yes.
interesting the path all of us take. It's always going, 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 but getting us where we need to be. Sounds like a
Right.
beautiful journey.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
And
to the point, oh, go ahead. No, sorry.
Linda, what does mindfulness mean to you? And what does embodiment mean to you?
Yeah, great questions. So, mindfulness for me, I mean, it's both elements of mindfulness and embodiment have many, many layers to them. And since we only have a limited amount of time, I'll try to extract the heightened, most potent awareness around these practices, or these definitions rather. So for me, mindfulness means essentially bringing your attention and your awareness to certain aspects of your being that might be calling your attention. So, for example, we often go through life. We wake up in the morning, we go along with our day, whatever that might look like, and we end our day before we go to sleep at night, right? On a very simplistic level. And oftentimes as humans, because the mind has its own way of creating many, many different thoughts throughout our days. And also as a result of what's going on in the mind, maybe producing certain emotions and so on. Again, that interconnectedness of all systems is always playing a role in how we navigate our days. And so I would say mindfulness is the opportunity for you to pause in your day, and get curious around certain thoughts that might be calling your attention. So
So
what can that look like?
staying in the present moment
Mhm.
throughout your day,
Yeah,
in the little spaces, in those moments, and
yeah,
acknowledging them, bringing
yeah.
greater awareness to everything you're doing.
Exactly, exactly. And also creating that opportunity to pause so that you
Yeah.
can, go into conversation, maybe more of an active conversation with yourself. What is it
Mm.
that's kind of speaking to me at this moment? What is it that my heart desires? What is it that's taking up space? What is it that's kind of creating some discordance in my being? Because it's very easy for us, as I just mentioned, wake up, do your thing during the day, go to bed at night. It's so easy for us to remain on that autopilot. So mindfulness for me means to, again, more on a very introductory level. It's just pausing to be able to take some time and create curiosity around what it is that's taking up space.
What do they say? There's power in the pause.
Yes, I love that. That's beautiful. I'll probably be sharing that. I like that.
Go for it.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
We're here to co-create. And
Correct.
an embodiment, more fully.
Yeah. So, embodiment is essentially the practice, right? It's whatever it is that's come to surface through that mindfulness that's calling you to perhaps take action through that physical or perhaps mental and emotional exploration, and therefore certain things may come and arise to surface in that um through different exploratory processes where you can try a different practice or integrate something that, if you're working with a facilitator or a coach, and I believe that that's usually the difference between working with facilitators and coaches, mentors and teachers versus kind of going to a doctor that might be diagnosing something and then just saying, this is what it is and you can take this, which has its absolute time and place. When it comes to being more embodied, there's a lot of understanding around tools and practices and integrating it into your life, into your days. And, we live in a very busy world. Welcome to the modern society that we live in. It is so challenging to find the time or perhaps to create the time. However, there is so much power in doing that for yourself. And that is something that I really want to share with others, is understanding that there is a practice that is correlated to the embodiment work. And you will not, you know, speaking to that idea of being in co-creation, we do not, because myself included, this is always a practice for myself as well. We will not change with that sort of clear direction that we want to partake in that change, whatever change looks like for you at the time, which, by the way, we're always changing.
Yeah.
This is something that's happening regardless whether you want it to or not. So I always say, why not be in that process with it? Why not create that intention or that, that goal or that dream?
Embrace the change because it's going to
Yeah,
happen anyway. So
correct.
direct
And
it as
so
good change.
exactly. And so embodiment for me means the actual practice and integration, of whatever it is that is calling to you, which may look very different from season to season, month to month. It depends on what it is that, you are shifting. Yeah.
And are there further things you would like to share with our viewers, and
Yeah.
basically some tips that they can put into practice? Or
Yeah, well, we're speaking right now, again, as a holistic practitioner, there's always so many areas that I can pull on, just in terms of sharing information and education. And my goal is never to overwhelm someone with all of this information. A holistic lens can feel very overwhelming because we're looking at all the systems and all the things. But that's not the idea. Change doesn't happen overnight, and you want to slow drip the process so that you can, really create that consistent and maintainable and sustainable change. And so since we're focusing just on, the mindfulness aspect and the embodiment aspect, something that I like to just share and emphasize is, that we live in that world that's filled with constant buzz and endless doing. And there really is immense power into turning inwards and honoring what truly supports alignment in your human health. And health is not just a state of being, but it really is also a state of that's such a journey. This is something that is, it's a part of your everlasting journey as you're a human here on earth, right? And so when we lose touch with things that create health in humans, and this is tied into the gift that I'm offering the viewers, which is essentially these foundational principles that help humans remain in that state of balance, in that state of homeostasis, we risk missing the opportunity to discover who we are at a soul level, right? And we are energetic beings, and that's a whole other conversation and how I support energy medicine. And it is so powerful because, underneath this physical, mental, emotional parts of us, we are energetic beings. And so, it is important to recognize that we're all here with our own unique gifts. And if we walk this path without understanding that there is an element of taking care of our well-being, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, or, you could call it mind, body, soul, then it's very easy to go through this lifetime not even knowing what those are. And you have gifts, you have that ability to tap into your highest expression and your highest timeline. And oftentimes we're kind of looking for that instead of coming into the alignment with it, because we're doing it with our thinking mind. And so it is so incredibly important to come back to just the basic principles of what creates a healthy human. So I always talk about these 6 foundational principles, because each one of them creates homeostasis in the body. So talking about,
can you briefly go through the 6 for us?
exactly. Yes, absolutely. Happily, because it is where a lot of my passion lays, because it's so simple, yet so integral, so important. And that's the importance of, our thoughts, which again, these are their own overarching themes and can be incredibly profound in discovery. But what is going on in the mind, and where are our thoughts, and are they in alignment with our dreams, or are they perhaps, there's so much that comes from our subconscious mind, which again, is its own sort of conversation. So let's just keep it simple and say the importance of our thoughts, the importance of our breath, which, if we didn't breathe, you have about 3 minutes to
So
here on earth.
thoughts one and breath two.
Correct.
Okay.
Exactly. So importance of breathing mindfully, how to breathe and what state of being that puts you in, whether
Take a
that's
deep
your
breath.
fight or flight mode. That's right. You can take a deep breath here in this moment and just feel what it feels like to come into that slower, more restorative state, that digest state where all the healing happens. So yes, thinking, breathing, the importance of hydration is often overlooked. People don't even know, the importance of the quality of our waters and what happens if it's not mineralized and why that's important, XYZ, the importance of nourishment, same thing, quality of our food, and also eating right for our type. I will say this out loud as often as I can. There is no way, there is your way. And finding that is its own journey in itself. So side tangent, but we'll keep it at that for now. Movement, the importance of moving our bodies. Again, we are humans. If we're going to go back to those primal days, humans are meant to move. That's how we've evolved in life.
Movement is medicine.
Yeah, movement is medicine. And then also your sleep, right? Because there's so much power in understanding how much medicine is also in our sleep, in our regeneration. So those are the 6 foundational principles that I like to share and educate around, and then also create this awareness around, where are you at with them? Where is that, are each of these principles in your life? Because that in itself will go and give you an indication of,
You can
if you're
actually, you can even self-evaluate where you are at with each of the 6. And it's things we know, but we so often just go into busy life and you lose track. And it's important to stop and reassess those 6.
absolutely.
Where am I at?
100%. This is why we're having this conversation. I mean, I have to say, with so much love and gratitude for the many communities that I've been of service to in the world of movement, whether it's as a personal trainer or as a teacher, it is so interesting to see the amount of humans. I mean, hey, we go to group classes or we go do personal training. And of course, this could be any other forms of movement, but we go to attain a specific goal, not realizing that that's just one aspect. There are many other different aspects of what's going to support that goal. And that's where all these other foundational principles, which, we could say, oh, it's just water, or it's just nutrition, or it's just sleep. But if you're not actually actively embodying these practices in a way that is fully supportive to your vessel, to your being, then I don't know if we really understand the power in them. So I really invite others to come back to these essentials, because this is what creates a healthy human. This is baseline health that we're speaking on or speaking to.
It's so true. It makes sense. Like back to the basics.
Totally. Absolutely.
And using that awareness of, and being honest about where we're at, because a lot of the things, we know we should be eating healthy or we should be doing this or that. It's that honest assessment of really looking, where am I at in each of those areas.
Yes. I love that you emphasize that importance of being honest with self, because, we often look outwards to understand how we can achieve a goal, when really it always starts within ourselves. And so if you can give yourself that honest assessment, I mean, it could bring so much relevance to where it is that you want to go and what you want to create. And so I love coming back to these principles, because they are the little guiding lights to the deeper things that we want to understand, whether that's, how we carry ourselves in relationship, our emotional well-being, what it is that we want to create if we are in that state of understanding that we are the creators of our human life experience. So it's very easy for people to get stuck in the mind when we have this entire vessel that also needs to be nurtured and nourished, and vice versa. Our body can be in incredible health, and what's going on in the mind that can be creating some blockages. And it's through these foundational principles where we do where we could check in with ourselves. And it's really important to come back to that state of awareness and doing that introspection so that you can create that alignment within your being.
I mean, it's so easy to get caught into the details of a specific thing. So if it's a relationship that needs work, whatever, you've focused on that, you're not going, well, many times we're not going, right, the core, the basic six, where, am I ratty because I haven't had enough sleep? Or I'm not eating correctly, I'm
Correct.
not moving, the
That's
very
right.
basics. And
The
then
very
building
basic.
from that foundation. So you can apply it to anything of first getting that base right, and then
Yes.
looking at further, the
Yes.
nuances that then come above that.
Absolutely. There's so much to say around how that can be then layered and compounded
Yeah.
in how we further understand who we are, and I
Mhm.
love that you just brought that up, because I often, even in my own life, in my relationship with my partner, I think to myself like, oh, maybe I was a little on edge today. Where is that coming from? Did I not get my movement in? Or which is so, how that actually supports the body in our days,
Yeah.
and how that moves our energy around and how that brings us into a different state of being mentally. Maybe I didn't nourish my body with alive foods that, maybe this food was kind of depleting and made me more kind of reactive instead of responsive. And there's so much to say around these foundational principles and how they can create either leaks in your life or in your days, or if they can empower you to fully come and be into that alignment so that you can show up as,
Mm.
as best you can, the best
The
version of
best
yourself on
version
a
of
daily.
yourself.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly. You mentioned a free gift earlier. Could you tell
Yes,
us a little more about what your gift is? And
absolutely.
I
So,
am popping the link to your gift will be below for those who wish to download it.
absolutely. So, this gift is essentially an invitation for you to take a pause, to slow down for just a few moments and to explore the keys to connecting with your full being. So, that is once again body, mind, and spirit. And so, in a very rapid paced world that has endless information and so many tasks that we need to get to, we have the power to choose stillness. And so I invite those that are interested to check in with themselves, and see how they can really become further into coherence with their beings, and the universe, and creating their life, their dreams here on earth. This gift essentially gives you these little prompts to check in with each foundational principle and slowly but surely start to integrate and embody these foundational principles to notice where you can further support yourself in alignment so that you can honor what it is to live a life that is of wealth, and
So
that's
a
holistic wealth.
self-assessment
Yep,
exercise, essentially.
exactly. And it's through, I love to write. I think there's so much power in writing. I call it the power of the pen. We don't know it necessarily at the time, but our higher self does step forward and you'll just see him or her, flowing out of the pen. And so I love to share that practice, that embodiment practice with others. You could do that through meditation, you could a guided meditation, so on and so forth. There's so many different ways. So in this specific gift, it is through the act of journaling. And if you find resistance in that, I invite you to perhaps question like why that would be, and then to give it a try. It doesn't need to be, so elaborate. You don't need to spend all the days, you don't need to spend hours. It's just a simple, curious space for you to understand what it is that is perhaps taking up space, or can be sort of energy that can be transformed for you to further create a deeper sense of clear direction for yourself.
Sounds amazing. I'm
Mm-hmm.
definitely going to take it up myself, and yeah, hope everyone jumps in on that. Sounds
Yes.
beautiful.
Awesome.
And
Yes.
Linda, thank you for your time. It's been amazing chatting to you. Really
Likewise.
loved it. And yeah, just before you go, is there a final
Yeah,
little bite-sized wisdom you'd like to share, or?
for sure. I'm always encouraging fellow humans to really to the point that you actually mentioned before, to get honest with self and know that there are resources out there to really support you and hold you in a space to understand what needs to be changed in your life, and not to feel overwhelmed with that, but to remember that it just could be so simple in taking small bite-sized steps to then create and induce the change that you're looking for. It's not going to come from without. However, it is incredibly potent to have someone support that process. And oftentimes we feel like it's incredibly far and that it's not accessible, but really there are so many light beings out there that are here to support those processes. So trust the call that you receive, trust that sort of that inner voice that's saying, wow, this is something that's really inspiring me right now, and I feel so encouraged and motivated. That's your body that's saying, go do that. That sounds great. Go get curious, go explore. So trust yourself in where your body is guiding you. And for those that are interested in doing this through a more active process, I am going to be offering the option to do a 30-minute discovery call with me and seeing what it is that might be taking up space, so that, perhaps through that exchange, there is something that is laying in your blind spots that can then be supported and brought to surface so you could be facilitated accordingly and through a direction that is going to support you in the changes that you're looking to create. So you're always welcome to reach
Can
out.
hear your guidance more directly.
Correct. Exactly. It's so supportive, right? All coaches, or hopefully most coaches and facilitators, also have coaches and facilitators. So when I share that information with others, it's really coming from a place of saying, I understand the potency of it. I mean, it's what has brought me to living my dreams and being, stepping into who I am today. And as I continue to evolve and grow, and there's so much power in that human connection. So that is a further gift for those that are interested in connecting.
Thank you so much. It's been beautiful talking to you.
Likewise, thank you. Have a really beautiful rest of this summit. I'm looking forward to tuning into the other speakers as well, and learning from them. So I look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.